seen anything like this in my life.
Everybody has their fantasy of paradise. What's yours? Discover your paradise.
What if you could grab the sun and pass its energy on to others to keep them moving forward? It's what we do at FPL. Our solar energy centers grab the sun, turn it into electricity, and we pass it on to you. It's just one of the ways we're changing Florida's energy today to help create a better tomorrow for all of us. At FPL, we're changing the current.
Go online now.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back as we take a live look at Boston, Massachusetts. Here's what Winter Storm Marcus is doing. All of that snow out there. It's been snowing the better part of the day, mostly lightly. It's the problem is just so prolonged, and we'll continue to see more snow coming down and piling up. Cold temperatures too, down to 14 degrees with wind chills below zero right now. Obviously, a lot of folks having trouble getting around on the ground and in the air, Maria.
A huge problem, and I just happened to look up Boston University spring break. Begins March 7th, and I bet they can't wait to get out of town right now. It's a difficult time doing that because you can see where we're having our delays. You have them LaGuardia Minor right now, about half an hour departure delays, but also San Francisco. We have our huge western storm that we'll also be talking about. That's the wind and the low cloudiness leading to some delays at San Francisco. So big issues already on both coasts tonight. You know that's going to linger tomorrow as well. We've seen the cancellations really start to add up and stack up. You're talking over 1,000 across the country here, but look at Boston. You're talking more than 400 flights canceled in and out of Boston. You have LaGuardia just today looking at about 350 flights in and out of LaGuardia canceled already. And as we've seen with the last several storms, you're going to have these sort of staggered effects here Monday even into Tuesday as all these airlines and cities try to play catch up, trying to catch up with the traffic. Certainly all the traffic that was slowed down last week too. You have a lot of frustrated travelers for sure. But this is what it looked like for Lee Toma when he flew out of Atlanta, Georgia this afternoon. And a spectacular day. It was warm, sunny, temperatures into the 60s. He's feeling good. He's live tweeting his flight as it happened. But look what happened as he rode over Rhode Island. His plane circled before it descended into Boston's Logan Airport, and you can see the clouds. Yep. And then the windswept clouds there as it lowered, got lower and lower, closer to the airport and closer to the ground over Castle Island in South Boston. You got the snow-covered ground there, and of course out on the tarmac there, the plane landed safely at Logan Airport, but it was the frozen tundra versus that warm, sunny scene there in Atlanta, right? What a difference. But you can see the crew is really, really busy there, cleaning out the runways, clearing them out, and also de-icing the planes. There you've got the shot right there. Yet another reason for some of those flight delays during a winter storm. And that's just today, Nick. We've got at least 2 more days where it's going to be a big issue.
Oh, what a contrast from north to south. And we are seeing all that snow continuing to come down. Take a look at Boston University. Now, I want you to check out the bottom of the screen, okay? Can you see that? There's a road right here. Every once in a while, we'll see a car coming across it, but mostly it's just a few pedestrians out there. Folks still out and about despite those very cold wind chills. We've seen pictures of a lot of folks with their face covered, some of their faces completely covered, and that's probably a good idea. All right, let's talk a little bit more about travel, particularly along Interstate 95. As we get through the next several hours, during the overnight hours, we'll still see more snowfall too, but notice as well southward here around Long Island, over toward Manhattan, and even into New Jersey and Pennsylvania. That purple on the map is never a good color. You do not want to see that. That depicts where we could see freezing rain. The pink depicted there is a mixture of rain and snow or sleet. So a lot of different wintry precipitation types expected as we head through tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then throughout the day tomorrow, probably a little bit of snow mixing in around New York. We'll continue to see that snow around the Boston area on into Tuesday morning before it's completely done. We also want to alert you along Interstate 90, the New York State Thruway. It looks like it's going to be all snow here through New York State and into Massachusetts all the way to Boston on I-90. It's southward where we're going to see that mixture of precipitation types. So all snow, and we've been telling you, very persistent snowfall. Even though it may be light, it is going to continue to accumulate, maybe a foot or more here around the Boston area through the day. And of course, a terrible morning commute. Best to stay home if you possibly can into the afternoon and into to Tuesday morning should look better.
And Nick, we know thousands and thousands of kids will be staying home in Boston tomorrow. Public schools closed not only Monday but Tuesday. A live look where the snow is coming down hard right now.
I am never getting married.
Never.
Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Breathe. A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Toenail fungus? Don't hide it. Tackle it with new FDA-approved Jublia. Jublia is a prescription medicine proven to treat toenail fungus. Use Jublia as instructed by your doctor. Once applied, Jublia gets to the site of infection by going under, around, and through the nail. Most common side effects include ingrown toenail, application site redness, itching, swelling, burning or stinging, blisters, and pain. Tackle it. Ask your doctor now if new Jublia is right for you.
I can do anything.
My Tempur-Pedic made me fall in love with mornings again.
And I love how it conforms to my body. With Tempur-Pedic, the whole bed is comfortable.
We actually got our bed as an engagement gift from her parents.
Maybe that's the secret to marriage.
You're going to stay together if you have a Tempur-Pedic bed.
I told our friends, this is the best investment I've ever made.
It's helping to keep us young.
I love my bed.
Visit your local retailer and feel the Tempur-Pedic difference for yourself.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Attention accident victims.
If you or a loved one has been injured in any kind of accident, you may be eligible for substantial compensation. Don't wait to file your claim. Time is limited. Call now and let a local experienced attorney fight to get you money for your injuries.
If you have been injured in an accident, time is limited to file a claim, so act now. The call and consultation are free.
Call 1-800-307-9899.
Every day, Bill had a choice. He could do the same old boring things, or he could start speaking a new language with Rosetta Stone.
Je t'aime.
The fastest way to learn a language, guaranteed. Right now, you have the same choice. You could let time pass you by, or you could seize the day. Experience the new Rosetta Stone. Call now for a free demo at 1-800-ROSETTA.
To my cousin, the last good man in America.
Listen
to me. Why are you swinging the bat at Rocco like that?
They're my child!
They're going to come after you.
They want to fight? I'm going to destroy them.
The Slap, starting this Thursday. Part of the all-new NBC Thursday.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This weekend, Winter Storm Marcus brings yet another round of snow and cold to millions. Monday morning will be a mess. Get the weather story Monday on Wake Up with Alan AMHQ.
Welcome back to special coverage of Winter Storm Marcus. Snow's been falling in the Northeast since this morning.
I mean, for Boston, it's been the 4th named winter storm in the last 3 weeks. And the folks in the hub are still digging out from Juneau, Carey, and Linus. So the threat of another foot to maybe a foot and a half of snow is serious.
Yeah, it really is. And this is what it looked like today on the campus of Harvard University. Pretty, isn't it? Yeah, pretty if you're inside, right? Justin Michaels tweeted this out, noting that there are just 40 days until spring. Don't tell me they're not counting the days there in Boston. Our own Paul Goodlow's live in Boston right now. And Paul, okay, maybe it's pretty for some. I'm not sure if it's looking so pretty for you right now.
Yeah, you mentioned 40 days till spring, which means 40 days and 40 nights of winter, and this is what the majority of at least the last 2.5 weeks looks like here in Boston. Wind and snow. Right now, 14 degrees, the wind chill 2 below, and now the streets are getting a little more difficult to walk on. I'm going to try to walk across the street here without getting hit by a car. Might be good for TV, not good for me. But definitely some snow here on Dartmouth Street. I want to talk about the size of the snow banks, which are lining pretty much every single street around here. I'm going to walk past this pile, and eventually you'll start losing me. You got to remember, I'm 6'5", so you should be easily seeing me, but you can barely see the top of my hood. I'll put my hand up so you can kind of see where I'm moving along. And these piles of snow are making it difficult for you to see me across the street. So imagine trying to drive on these streets, trying to peek around the corner, here I am, and see if traffic is coming along. So I'm standing in front of the library here, and easily on the sidewalk, there's a good 2 inches of snow here. This has not been plowed or sanded or salted in the last couple of hours. But here, I'm actually on the curb, but there's tons of snow, about... let this car go through about 8 feet of snow, 1, 2, 3 steps before I reach the road. And all this is what's all over Boston and much of eastern Massachusetts. Is just piles and piles of snow. Now for kids, you can check out this video here. Kids are loving this. They go out to the local hill, they get the sleds, and they have the time of their lives. And again, school here in Boston has been canceled for tomorrow and Tuesday. And that Tuesday, that extra snow day for the kids, could put one of their future holidays, perhaps spring break or maybe even an extra day on their school calendar once we get towards the end of June. So yeah, it's nice and fun now, but you will pay for that somewhere along the lines, because they have to have at least 180 days of instruction here for the school system. Now, other local communities like Cambridge, they're also closed tomorrow. So far, they're open on Tuesday, but again, depending on how this Winter Storm Marcus kind of plays out across the area, it definitely could be impacting more school districts as we head into Tuesday. I'm not even going to mention about the next snowstorm later on this week, and then the frigid cold for the weekend. But it's definitely impacting a lot of schools. In fact, west of here, about an hour west, is Worcester, Mass. And we talked to the school superintendent there earlier today. Take a listen.
It's really tough because
every day the schools are closed, we have an interruption in the momentum of what's happening in the instructional program and in the classrooms. And so it really is a tough decision. And we need a full week of school without interruption to regain that momentum.
And I don't know when they'll have a full week of school without interruption. It won't be this week, and we'll have to see about next week. But as we mentioned before, only 40 days and 40 nights until spring. Maria?
Your optimism, but I will tell you, Paul, that they have a scheduled week off next week. Ironically, it's called winter recess. No recess from winter at all for Boston Public Schools. All right, Paul, thank you. It's not just in Boston. Portland, Maine, also getting slammed by Winter Storm Marcus. And for that, we want to head over to Ron Blum. And Ron, Portland has had quite a winter already, and there, too, the snow keeps coming.
It is picking up in intensity since we last visited about 30 minutes ago, falling a little heavier now. You know you're up north when they have special little narrow snow plows designed to plow out the sidewalks. And this guy just did 2 passes here. It's about 4.5 feet wide, kind of the width of a big lawnmower for a golf course. But this is moving snow. Still kind of a slick area underneath. And we've been seeing this light kind of freezing on metal and other devices here. Reached out to a local meteorologist who calls it the cold conveyor belt. He says it's because this Arctic cold is coming out of Canada, and we've got warmer moisture off the Atlantic right here on the coast. We're just a mile or so from the ocean. It kind of comes together, so we get this little icing. Well, that makes the roads even slicker. Now, I was out on I-95 today, driving up from New Hampshire into Portland, Maine, and the interstates look pretty good. A lot of people concerned about that. Of course, they could get covered with more snow tonight, but they're very aggressively plowing. In fact, last night coming out of Boston Airport, they had many plows on the roads trying to take advantage of the light traffic and get down to pavement, putting a lot of salt out as well. All of this is crimping budgets. They're spending more than they planned for on winter this year. There is one industry that is seeing a payoff, and that's the Nordic skiing. In Maine, it's about a $300 million a year industry, and in New Hampshire, it's $1 billion and another $350 million, $400 million over in Vermont. So all of those communities are excited about this. They had a couple of thaws in January, which didn't make the snow so good. They're getting plenty of natural snow, and they do have those winter breaks coming up, so they're really hoping to get a lot of people onto the slopes spending money. Here in downtown Portland, a few businesses are open, but they're also running into this issue of people staying home because of this blowing snow. Not sure what is happening. Could have a half a foot or more tonight. Maria, back to you guys.
All right, Ron Blum, thank you so much. And yeah, those resorts are doing great, but you got to get there, right? You got to be able to drive there or fly there, and that's very difficult. Let's bring in our expert, Carl Parker, to talk more about Marcus. And what's interesting, Carl, as you pointed out, the last several storms, you kind of have those classic nasty winter storms. This one's kind of crimping by here, but it's just adding on to everything else.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not a terribly strong storm, but it's going to last for a very long time. And it may be that we don't get really good, accurate measurements of how much snow comes down because the snow will have settled before it's all done. We could be talking about 24 hours of snow in some areas. And let's begin with a look at how much snow we're expecting going forward now across the Northeast, a sizable area of several inches. That's 5 to 8 in that light pink. Then within that, you've got pockets of 8 to 12. And then notice right in there, that's 12 to 18 around the Boston metro because of a localized effect. That's where heavier snow is going to be likely. Right now, it's light snow coming across the New York State Thruway in Buffalo and Rochester, as well as Syracuse. We are quiet for now in New York City, 35, but we expect the temperatures to come down. And freezing rain is going to be a concern overnight and tomorrow morning. Not light snow now in Hartford, and then we've got light snow coming down in Boston. But we have seen moderate snow just off to the south and to the west in Norwood. And notice here the huge change in temperature between Boston and Norwood and what's going on there in Marshfield. That is because of a coastal front that is going to enhance that snowfall in that area. So you've got this very cold air that is coming down from Canada right down into New England, but you've also got marine air that's off to the east and starting to encroach there. And as it continues to move in, we're going to watch that front, that boundary between those air masses sharpen up. And when it does so, it increases the lift and focuses heavier snow in a localized area. And we think that's going to set up generally right right over the Boston Metro. Exactly where is difficult to say, but our high-resolution model showing some enhancement along with that wind coming together, that convergence right across the Boston Metro area. And that's why we're thinking that heavier amounts are likely there from downtown and especially up towards the North Shore, up towards Lynn and Saugus and Beverly. That's where we could see over a foot of snow and maybe well over a foot of snow in some very localized areas. So here's the high-resolution model. Broad area of light snow. The larger forcing is generally not as strong, but notice again that little bit of enhancement right there. And in fact, that continues for quite some time. We're taking this now into tomorrow afternoon. We're still seeing that enhancement there along with the coastal front, and then even into late tomorrow, lingering snow in southeastern parts of New England. Nick, over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. Well, we do have much more ahead here on the special edition of Weather Center Live. Winter Storm Marcus blasting the Northeast. We're also watching the West Coast, though.
With a severe threat, we have Dr. Forbes in the house. We'll be right back.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
My name is Daniel. I have diabetic nerve pain. The pain felt like my feet were on fire. I had these very burning, needle-like sensations. I knew I needed to see a doctor. My doctor said, let's try Lyrica. Lyrica has helped relieve my pain.
It's known that diabetes damages nerves. Lyrica is FDA approved to treat diabetic nerve pain. Lyrica is not for everyone. It may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these: new or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, changes in eyesight including blurry vision, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or skin sores from diabetes. Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who have had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
Having less pain, it's a great feeling.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica today. It's specific treatment for diabetic nerve pain.
Hey neighbor, LED bulbs save hundreds of dollars on your energy bill and can last for over 20 years. And right now, get $2 instant savings on a variety of Fight dimmable bulbs at your neighborhood Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
There's a myth out there that you can't do it all, that you can't be everything to everyone. Well, consider that myth shattered. This is the full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, built to help you run the town from every direction.
The more you learn about your insurance, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this, when you're really only covered for this. Talk to farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Millions of people receive their prescriptions free. You can too. You can even qualify for free dental care and free dentures. Call the free RX Plus hotline now.
There were times when I would not do the prescribed amount, and so I could stretch that depending on, what my circumstances were that month.
We can't afford to go to the dentist on a regular basis like we did when we were fully employed.
The free RX Plus hotline can help you with more than just free prescriptions. You can qualify for free dental work indentures, cell phones with free minutes, and much more. All free. Don't forget to ask about all your medical supplies, as they may be covered too.
It's a choice of food or getting the dental work that's required.
I've got a pension, I've got medical insurance, but it's not covering huge portions of my prescription medical bills.
All callers receive our free prescription drug savings card. Start saving immediately on thousands of prescription medications. Call now. You could qualify for free brand name prescriptions, along with dental and so much more.
Looking live at Boston, Massachusetts, as we have done several times here in the last couple of weeks, where it is still snowing lightly, cold outside, temperatures down into the teens, and with almost 60 inches of snow so far this season, it looks like we'll probably, by tomorrow, be in the top 10 snowstorms of all time. James Kendall took this picture of the snow from Winter Storm Marcus in the Boston area. Snow on the ground? Yeah, looks pretty out there as long as you are inside looking out, and that's probably the best place to be here tonight and into tomorrow. Yeah, you're kind of feeling a snow fatigue here around Boston, aren't you? I mean, for example, snow, out of the last 16 days, you've had 12 of those days as snowy days. It's been snowing about 33% of the time. The snow total in the last 16 days since January 24th, 54.8 inches in 16 days. Can you imagine? Well, it's lightly snowing right now. You can see the blue on the radar right now. But notice the wind out of the northwest at 17 miles per hour, gusts to 24, and so that's bringing the wind chills way down. 3 below zero is what it feels like on exposed skin, and thus there's not a lot of exposed skin out there. People are out, but they're keeping that skin covered, and that's a good thing. But get used to the cold. I mean, it is going to be downright frozen, particularly as we get to the end of this coming week. There's lots of cold air building here over Canada, and late week we're going to see that infiltrate southward into the northeast to keep you in a very, very cold scenario. Notice probably the coldest air of the season, because we're going to see those low temperatures down into the teens, the single digits, and even below zero. Next Saturday morning, 3 below zero here in Boston, starting off with 6 degrees in New York, and next Sunday, we're going to see those temperatures up a little bit above the zero mark, 3 above there in Boston, but we'll still be below zero there in Binghamton, right at zero at Buffalo, 9 degrees to start your day around New York City. So Boston, your average high, 37 degrees. You're going to be nowhere close to that, as your highs are only in the teens by next weekend, up into the 20s a little bit after that. Maria?
And Nick, with the other big story that we're covering today, the deluge on the West Coast, and the rain continues there through tomorrow. So it's a good and bad thing, right? Feast or famine for California in the midst of a terrible drought across the West. But you see the rain keeps on coming. But notice, look, you got a few lightning strikes there, a few lightning strikes offshore. So the stormy weather, also a big part of what's taking shape with this big storm out across the West. For more on this, we want to head over to the lab and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Dr. Forbes, this is not just, thunderstorms, but we're talking about torcons out for parts of this area.
Yeah, there is, although, Maria, one band of thunderstorms or showers and now thunderstorms has gone through those interior valleys, mostly without going severe, so we might be getting a little bit on the lucky side, but I wanted to show you this satellite picture. Look at this. You can see the big upper low that is spinning counterclockwise. That's cold pocket loft. Embedded in that are 1 and 2 little swirlies. You can see them. They almost look like big crescent rolls, don't they, with that swirls in there? Those are little circulation centers. This southern one is going to blast into the area and probably just northwest of San Francisco late this evening. The other one will follow it on overnight tonight. So those two are going to give a little bit more widespread rain tonight and tomorrow than we've had today as they move onshore. We can still get some areas that get additional 2 to 3 inches, and there's been some places that have gotten already 9 inches or so of rain, so that's going to add to the woes. As Maria pointed out, there's a few places in here, the San Joaquin Valley now, that has some lightning in it. It's begun to weaken just a little bit. We went through the Sacramento Valley earlier this afternoon. We worry about these in these winter storms because those valleys trap the southerly winds, and they got up into the mid-60s 60s today, while mid-level winds come in from the west, a little colder, so that's unstable. And so we still could get this evening a chance of an isolated severe thunderstorm anywhere from near Redding down to San Francisco and into those interior valleys. At the moment, though, the storms have weakened as they moved into the hills there near Lake Tahoe, but off to the south and east of Sacramento, storms around the San Andreas down to the Modesto areas still going pretty strongly, although they have not gone severe. And another one here down toward the Oakdale area is a little bit on the strong side. So maybe a little small hail, but probably not going to go too severe. You might wonder why I'm worried about tornadoes in February in California, and it's because it's actually the second most active month of the year in terms of California. That usually is as these winter storm systems add to the instability by pulling in cold air aloft. But I've reduced the torque on. I had it 3 earlier today. I've dropped it down now to 2 or less, as I think we've gone past those interior valleys without the main severe threat wrapping up. I hope that threat continues, but we'll take all the rain we can get. Nick, Maria?
All right. Thanks so much, Dr. Forbes. Yeah, we need it. We just don't need it all at once.
Right. Which they're getting it.
Well, much more ahead here on Winter Storm Marcus. It continues to blast the Boston area.
And we'll continue to track where it's headed next. Carl Parker is going to take us deeper into how much snow will actually hit that area.
Omega-3s are essential for our heart health. We find omega-3s in fish and nuts, but even with a healthy diet, many people don't get enough. That's why omega-3 supplements can help support your heart health.
MegaRed is an omega-3 supplement recognized by the Hope Heart Institute. Research shows omega-3s may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. MegaRed Omega-3 krill oil is easily absorbed by the body, and it's just one small pill. Support your heart health with MegaRed.
Weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked?
Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency. It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 81. Chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers. Thunder possible. Low 61. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
There's a place for vacationers who seek more than just a little time off. The ones who choose to go big or stay home.
Come with me now.
Where every amazing, despicable, that are truly epic. This place is made for those who do more than just vacation.
Come with me now.
It's made for those who vacation like they mean it. Universal Orlando Resort.
There's something happening right here in this country. It's the sound of America. Working with American materials in American factories. At WeatherTech, all we do is create the highest quality automotive accessories, including laser-measured custom-fit floor liners.
Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech Floor Line.
Replacing old drain lines used to mean tearing up floors and walls and digging a huge trench in your house, but not anymore. Now there's trenchless drain line repair. Our trenchless pipelining method creates a new permanent pipe inside the existing pipe. A liner saturated with epoxy is inserted into the pipe. A bladder is inflated until the epoxy hardens to form a new pipe inside the old pipe. It's removed and the pipe is ready for use, better than new. Need a drain line repair? Go trenchless. Call Quick Plumbers today.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over the counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
Oh, no.
This weekend, Winter Storm Marcus brings yet another round of snow and cold to millions. Monday morning will be a mess. Get the weather story Monday on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Winter Storm Marcus dropping snow across the Northeast. This was the scene earlier in Rochester, New York. Quinn Mullern posting this picture of low visibility and obviously very poor road conditions, too.
Ove Overmeyer sent out this picture of the snow blanketing the streets in front of those houses here in Rochester. He added a quote, "Okay, that's enough. We've had our fair share of snow this winter," unquote. I'm sure a lot of people have been saying that.
Oh, yeah. And finally, Trisha Dix posted this picture of kids out playing in the snow. You can see the snow's about knee deep right there. Those are the folks that are having fun. But I think there are a lot of kids in the Northeast who have been out of school more than they have been in school. February, certainly with their winter breaks around the corner, too.
Even with kids out of school and enjoying it for a while, they got to say, okay, enough already. We really do need to not go to school all summer long.
Right, that's true. Good point. A lot of school districts are going to be struggling with that. We want to bring in Carl Parker because, Carl, you know, if you asked everyone in the Northeast, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, how the winter has been, they would say, oh, it's not too bad. We can take this.
Right, things really turned around, and I'll tell you, take a look at what we saw here in late January. We were thinking, where in the heck is winter? Where's all the snow? Here's Boston. So we had on the 23rd, by the 23rd of January, 5.5 inches of snow, and typically we would have seen 20 inches of snow. In Hartford, we typically would see 18, and we actually had about 10 inches. Now, look at what happened since that time. An unbelievable turnaround. 55 inches of snow there in Boston, and way, way ahead of the 25.9 that we should be at through today. Hartford's had 35. Typically, they have 25. New York, we're ahead of schedule. The only areas where we haven't seen as much is Philadelphia and also D.C. There in the Mid-Atlantic region. That's where we just have not had a lot of wintry weather. So here's the Boston area. This is our forecast. Snow to come, and we're talking about 13 inches there in Boston. Boston just happens to be in this area where there's something called a coastal front, and that's basically the separation between the milder ocean air and very cold air that's coming down from the north. And right along that boundary, that area of convergence, we expect to see heavier snow amounts. Notice the darker purple shades right in there. So it's right from Boston, maybe up through the North Shore, where we're going to get the most snow and some heavier snowfall rates. But for the most part, this is not a really strong storm. It's just a long-lasting event. In the Boston metro, snow continues right through tonight, right into tomorrow morning, and even into tomorrow afternoon. And all told, this is what we're thinking about, a pretty large area of 5 to 8 inches. Then within that, there will be pockets of 8 to 12, and within that, we've got an area of 12 to 18, and within that, we may be talking about well more than that. It's possible that somebody gets a couple of feet of snow out of this, but what's interesting is that it's going to go on for so long, the snow is actually going to settle a little bit. By the time we actually take that measurement, it might not be accurate because of the snow that has settled many, many hours before the last of the snow comes down. Here's the current radar picture. This is mostly light snow right now. A lot of reports of light snow. That's the case in Beverly as well as Boston, back into Bedford, Worcester, Springfield, all reporting light snow at this hour. We've got light snow through the Thruway as well, Syracuse, into going on. Now, notice that purple coloring right in there. That's really important. That is because of very cold air at the surface, but warmer air aloft. So we expect to see a mix right around the tri-state area that could be very messy tomorrow morning. Light snow ongoing for much of New England and New York State. And then even into tomorrow afternoon. Here, by the way, is that coastal front that we talked about, still producing snow in Boston. Finally, it winds down by very late tomorrow. One thing I want to show you very quickly, notice the purple area here. That is the freezing rain. That's going to set up in New York overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. Very slick roads, we think, tomorrow morning there in northern Jersey and across Long Island. Maria, over to you.
All right, Carl, here's what it looked like today in Bangor, Maine. John Marnell tweeting this photo an hour just after noon Eastern time, but you wouldn't know. It could be any time of day, right? Because there's no sign of any sun. You can just barely make out some of those trees, but it has been quite the winter there and still snowing as well.
Tough visibility all over.
Yeah.
And of course, we continue our wall-to-wall coverage of Winter Storm Marcus into tomorrow morning. Crews are out all across the Northeast, starting at 5 a.m. Eastern with Wake Up With Al.
And we're going to have reporters in Boston, Worcester, Portland, and of course the Big Apple. We've got Stephanie Abrams, Jim Cantori, Keith Carson, and Dave Malkoff in the morning. And they're continuing into the afternoon with Reagan Medji. We have Mike Seidel out, Ron Blom, and also Paul Goodloe, who we have this evening, checking in with him in Boston.
Hey, we have got this covered. Much more ahead here as Winter Storm Marcus continues to blast Boston.
Looking live at the Charles River somewhere down there.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Winter Storm Marcus packing a punch to the Northeast. The storm impacting over 40 million people, not to mention tomorrow morning's commute. Heavy snow hitting New England and New York City under the threat of freezing rain.
And take a look. You have those winter weather advisories in light blue, the winter storm warnings in dark blue, all the way from Philadelphia now included in that winter weather advisory. The winter storm warnings for Boston into Worcester and Burlington. Heavy snow New England, but New York, watch out for that freezing rain. Boston, Portland could be slammed with another foot to even 1.5 feet of snow. And we got those two areas covered for you tonight as Paul Goodloe and Ron Blom are out in the elements for you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Boston. Boston Public Schools closed both tomorrow and Tuesday. Our Paul Goodloe has been there in Boston as the snow continues to come down lightly, kind of a nuisance right now, but boy, it's been more than a nuisance as it's just more snow on top of what we have.
Yes, certainly has. And again, this is basically what most Bostonians have been dealing with, a shovel trying to dig things out. I've been kind of digging this path here all evening long since I've been out here. And even the places where I've shoveled, we still have now a bunch of snow because it keeps falling and also keeps blowing as well. Temperatures are on 14 degrees. And this part of Copley Plaza is snow covered. You know, they center is still just covered in snow. You got to remember, we've had about 54, almost 55 inches of snow over the last 16 days, and it's still coming down. And we're already closing on about 6 inches of snow in the last 24 hours since it started snowing again here. And this is how we're getting this latest winter storm Marcus. It's kind of a slow death here. It wasn't a big punch, not a big, foot and a half, 2 feet over, 8, 12, 18 hours. This is going to be, 6 and 8 and 12 and eventually 14, maybe even 16, 18 inches of snow piling up on top of everything that's already around here. Take a look at some of the streets, local streets. They are still barely drivable because there's nowhere to put the snow. Cars are still kind of plowed in, and they have to be shoehorned in and out of parking spaces because, trust me, after shoveling this little bit of snow, you want to move as little snow as you possibly can to get your life back to some place called normal here. Now, even the governor of the state is still dealing with places to put all this snow. We talked about it earlier in a news conference. Take a listen.
At this point, the issue of where to put the snow is less a state road issue than it is a municipal issue. On the state side, you can sort of push it off into the shoulder of the roads. But for many municipalities, the issue associated with where to put the snow is becoming their biggest problem of all.
And I've been shoveling out here. I've shoveled the easy part. The easy part is the snow that's just kind of sitting here. Now this part's been plowed a little bit. Now this is the part that gets difficult because it gets harder because it's been sitting here. And once you move the snow around, it changes the consistency of the crystal, so it's easier to get it packed down and filled with ice and harder to shovel, not to mention heavier to shovel as well. So this is the part trying to get out to the sidewalk, or what people are trying to do, trying to get out to their street and try to dig their car out. This is going to be the big pain. And again, this is just a fraction of what I've been seeing all around Boston here. And then you throw another foot and a half on top of it. So, yeah, people here are definitely going snow crazy. The kids, though, well, they're loving it. 2 straight days off of school, a 4-day weekend for the kids. And once they get past this week, guess what next week is? Winter break. They should have a break from winter snow. Maybe everyone leaves the city and goes down to Florida for a couple of days. That could be one way to get away from all this, guys.
I think you have a couple million people that are going to be right on that trip with you down to Florida. They're probably done and done.
No doubt
all right,
about it.
Paul, thanks.
And this is what Winter Storm Marcus looked like in Dedham. That's on the south border of Boston. And notice that, like there in Boston, we also have plentiful piles of snow on either side of the road. But the good thing is that we've got the crews out there at work.
You can see the pavement, the stop sign was nice and visible, wasn't buried, but obviously a very wintry scene. Tori, thanks for tweeting this photo out to us this afternoon. Obviously, crews are still going to be out tonight and tomorrow to see if you can get life back to normal here. But as we mentioned, a lot of schools already calling off not just Monday, but Tuesday. That says a lot to what they're expecting there. For more on Winter Storm Marcus, we want to head over to Carl Parker in the lab. And, this one definitely has different characteristics compared to the last 2 big snowmakers there, in that they were these big, massive, kind of big punch storms. This one's just not.
Exactly right. We're not going to see a knockout punch with this particular storm. It's just going to be hour after hour after hour of light snow. For the most part, there is an exception to that right in the Boston area where the snowfall rates could be heavier. We could be talking about 1 or 2 inches per hour there because of a localized feature called a coastal front. Now, let's begin with our forecast. The larger picture showing several inches in a large area across the New York State Thruway into the Adirondacks, the Hudson Valley, right through Massachusetts, a lot of Connecticut. Within that, there will be pockets of 8 to 12, and then we're thinking more than a foot is possible right in the Boston area, and maybe a lot more than a foot in some very localized areas. Now, here's the current radar picture, and the vast majority of what we are seeing now is light snow. Almost all the reports indicating light snow. We've got that now in Syracuse as well as Rome and down into the Binghamton area. Farther off towards the southeast in New York, notice a little bit of purple showing up right there. We're waiting to see whether or not some freezing rain is going to be developing. Nothing in the observations as of yet, but we do expect that cold air is going to continue to drive southward, so there will be freezing rain across the tri-state area overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, northern Jersey, and right out along the LIE there and across Long Island. Then you've mostly got light snow across Massachusetts right now, extending right into the Boston area. But one thing I want to show you is this really remarkable temperature contrast. 14 degrees in Boston and Norwood, but 34 in Marshfield. That's because of a coastal front, which is set up right through there. So you've got warmer, more marine air coming in that way, and then you've got very cold continental air driving down that way. Where we're getting that convergence, that's going to enhance the snowfall, which is why we think there's going to be a lot more snow in a fairly localized area, at least regionally speaking, and that's probably going to be somewhere right around Boston. So here's a larger picture, not a real strong storm, but what it's going to do is it's going to bring in Atlantic moisture. That moisture is gradually going to come across and over that cold air. We're not seeing a really intense area of low pressure, so we're not going to see widespread, very heavy snow amounts, but we will see enough to cause problems, and it's going to go on for a long period of time. So this is going through tonight into tomorrow morning. Here again is that freezing rain that we're concerned about in purple right across the tri-state area, Long Island, northern Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania, Reading, Allentown. You've got the light snow ongoing there, and that continues right into tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. Back to you, Nick.
All right, thanks, Carl. Yeah, those bridges and overpasses could be really, really tough.
And it won't take a lot. Of course, we continue our Winter Storm Marcus coverage. More than a foot, making it very difficult to get around in a lot of places. Ron Blom has that story for us from Worcester.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
I am never getting married.
We're never having kids.
We are never moving to the suburbs.
We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
If you've ever wondered how you're going to survive another harsh winter, or stay dry from torrential rain showers, or savor the last warm rays of sun, step inside the Jeep Grand Cherokee and wonder no more. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $349 a month.
The Weather Channel celebrates Black History Month as only we can, telling the stories of African Americans who saw their world through weather, then changed the world for the better. This week, we sit down with Guyan Bluford, the first African American to travel into space. Black History Month on the Weather Channel. It's amazing out there.
Currently in our area, 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This weekend, Winter Storm Marcus brings yet another round of snow and cold to millions. Monday morning will be a mess. Get the weather story Monday on Wake Up with Alan AMHQ.
I typed my name, and Ancestry opened the door to the world's largest online collection of family history records. Discover your story today at Ancestry.com.
Guess what goes really well with eggs? Pillsbury Grand's Biscuits make breakfast even better. Grand's Biscuits make breakfast pop.
Who's responsible for this?
If something goes wrong, you find a scapegoat.
Rick.
It's what you do.
What'd you say? Uh-oh.
Kelly. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Rick, don't walk away from me.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Looking live at New York City and Times Square. Travel advisory has been set for tomorrow morning and into the evening rush for New York City. Basically, a big heads up that the traveling will be very, very difficult. Not expecting a lot as far as totals in the New York City metro area, whether you're talking about just the snowfall, the sleet, or even some iciness, some freezing rain. But it is going to be just enough. And of course, timing can be everything with setups like this. So this is consider this now your big heads up for tomorrow. All of the precipitation right now, basically north here. Here's 87 north of White Plains. So if you're in, say, Hempstead or towards Rockaway into, say, Allendale, you're in pretty good shape right now. But by midnight and overnight tonight, you'll start to see some of that. Maybe an inch or two from New York to Patterson as you head towards Allentown and the Lehigh Valley, maybe about an inch or two. Philadelphia, you still have that winter weather advisory, and that's because you may have just enough drizzle to make it icy. So keep that in mind even into New York as we get into the morning hours. Just enough precipitation, some iciness with those temperatures right about freezing or just below. And then as we get in through Tuesday morning, some of that turning over to some snow, generally on the light side. But again, it is going to be just enough, Nick.
Yeah, a very dangerous late night and morning drive for sure. We have the information you need to stay safe. Ron Blum has been live in Portland, Maine. He's out there tonight. Ron, I know the snow's still coming down. It looks like it's coming down at a little bit more moderate clip now. What do you think?
Oh, it's just off and on between kind of heavy and light bands. But you know what's amazing is you look at the forecast for the next 24 hours, every hour, 80 to 100% chance of snow. The temperature tonight's supposed to be down to 5. Tomorrow, a high of only 16. But this storm is impacting not just Portland and down to Boston. There's a lot of communities that are being hit by this, as I found out in a drive along the turnpike. If you're going to drive on I-95, you need to start with a snow scraper. A good 2 inches fell overnight in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Waiting for spring. I'm hopeful.
Just up the road, Mark Tappan is racing to keep up with his workload.
Plowing some snow.
A lot?
Whole lot this year.
In fact, this busy plow operator says he's been working almost nonstop for more than 2 weeks, which is why he is seeing green where all the rest of us see that white stuff.
I'm loving it. Yeah, this is great.
There are, in fact, an army of plows out on I-95. From Massachusetts through New Hampshire and up into Maine, these operators are showing how it's done. Traffic is moving along so well, it's time I exit and check out a town named Wells on the Maine coast. A small town where the houses are draped in icicles and the sign says, "This way to the beach." But first, behind that snow dune, we spot Aroma Joe's, where inside the coffee is brewing and outside the customers not deterred by winter.
I am sick of the snow.
But you're still getting out.
Yes, I am. Gotta still get out. Gotta still live your life.
I don't know what's going on. I'm done with it, though. I'm sick of it.
Got my coffee, my muffin. He's got his rush.
And I've got the beach to myself, it appears. But wait, then I spot Mike Ross shoveling a friend's porch.
More snow than I need to deal with. I'm ready to go to Florida.
A lot of people are ready to go to Florida. The snowplow operators especially, they've been working long shifts. In fact, they even have sidewalk snowplows. They just came through here and cleared it down to the brick, but look, it's covered with snow again. As we said, 24 hours of snow in the forecast. Not as deep here as Boston, but it's still going to be challenging for the people of Maine along the coast. That's the story here. Back to you guys.
Yeah, no doubt about that. A challenge for everybody trying to get on the road.
And that's what we're going to kind of tackle next. We're going to talk about some of the travel problems, especially across the Northeast, getting out not only tonight, but tomorrow, even for your evening rush. That coming up after your local weather on the
8s. Mr. Gray, to what do you owe your success?
There's some people who say that I don't have a heart.
Why do I get the feeling that that is not true?
Welcome to my world. I don't do romance. Mother, Anastasia Steele.
You have no idea how delighted I am to meet you.
You said you didn't do romance.
Where have you been?
Waiting.
Rated R.
I'm outside. Where are you?
I'm right here. I'm in the Buick.
I don't see a Buick.
Oh, got it.
Encore, the expectation-shattering crossover from Buick.
Wow.
Now during the Buick President's Day event, lease this 2015 Encore with these premium services for 24 months for around $199 per month.
If you're taking multiple medications, does your mouth often feel dry? A dry mouth can be a side effect of many medications, but it can also lead to tooth decay and bad breath. That's why there's Biotene. Available as an oral rinse, toothpaste, spray, or gel, Biotene can provide soothing relief, and it helps keep your mouth healthy, too. Remember, while your medication is doing you good, a dry mouth isn't. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
Each year, 17 billion toilet paper tubes are thrown away. Enough to fill the Empire State Building. Twice. Toss the tube for good with Scott Naturals Tube Free.
And I turn around and there's 3 rattlesnakes.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't worry, Rob. You're covered.
State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service Confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. Now you can get the works. A multi-point inspection with a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, brake inspection, and more. $29.95 or less.
Weather invention.
Wow, anybody else surprised it actually worked? Mother Nature can absolutely change people.
I'm ready to get out of here and create a new track.
This is a tornado emergency. Oh my God!
It was hard to believe weather could do that.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
Everybody has their fantasy of paradise. What's yours? Discover your paradise.
What would you say to someone watching right now who is thinking about calling American Addiction Centers?
Don't hesitate. Pick up the phone.
If you think somebody needs help, they likely do.
I would tell them you're safe. You're safe. Call them.
Call now and let this place, American Addiction Centers, help.
It's a place of comfort, a place that helps you detox, a place that cares.
This place changed my life.
Isn't it time you changed your life? Let American Addiction Centers help. Call now.
Risk-free today.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, cloudy intervals, slight chance of a rain shower, low 61, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 81, chance of rain 50%. Monday night, cloudy with occasional rain showers, thunder possible, low 61, chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Looking live at Boston, Massachusetts right now as the snow continues to come down. 4.3 inches of brand new snow since midnight earlier in the day. So that is adding up now to almost 60 inches of snowfall for the season. And we are probably going to be in your top 10 snowfall totals of all time as we head into tomorrow with more snow piling up. And as it continues to do so, we're going to continue to have problems on the road and in the air.
You know, you can't be good, right? When you have a scene like that and home to one of the busiest airports in the country. So let's check in on what's happening or what's not happening, and that may be seeing flights take off and land in these airports. So we do have a few delays right now clocking in St. Louis, interestingly enough, but also San Francisco. We're still watching that big story across the west with the big storm. Right now you have arrival delays averaging over an hour, some departure delays of about 40 minutes, and it's because of the winds right now just howling out of the south at about 25 miles per hour, and they've been plagued with the wind and the rain, so it may not be a whole lot easier even as we get through the early part of tomorrow morning. So another reason to tune in early and get your travel updates. But it is the Northeast that's really being impacted here. You've got over 1,300 flights canceled in and out of the mostly of the Northeast here. You've got Boston with closing in on 500. The last hour our update was about 450. Now we're at 457 flights, 457 flights canceled in and out of Boston. Then you have LaGuardia, JFK, and Newark. You add those up, you're closing in on almost 700 flights. And then Philadelphia even clocking in with 81 flights canceled so far in and out of Philadelphia. It is kind of going to be a terrible travel days, not just tomorrow, but even on into Tuesday, with a lot of these places trying to play catch up. Now, are you flying into the Northeast tonight? Well, if you are, I want to show you what it looks like. Kind of interesting here. Beautiful, fantastic day, not to rub it in Atlanta. Lee Toma taking this picture for us, and he flew out of Atlanta this afternoon. Warm, sunny, temps into the 60s. Live tweeting his flight. There's a beautiful shot of Atlanta. But here's what it looked like as he flew over Rhode Island, starting to feel the effects there of Winter Storm Marcus with the clouds. Then as he circled over Rhode Island, heading into Boston's Logan Airport, more clouds. Here's the plane with those windswept clouds as it lowered towards the airport. Now closer to the ground over Castle Island here in South Boston, you can see the snow covering the ground. Looks very wintry. This is what it looked like when he landed the plane at Logan Airport. And this is showing you also why you may get some delays, because you've got the crews trying to keep the airport clear of the snow, those runways clear too, and of course getting de-iced. Also another reason, Nick, that you're going to see some delays of those flights that are able to take off out of Boston Logan. So nasty travel.
It really is. And I was in the airport yesterday. You can tell the folks who are flying northward, they got, a couple of coats weighing them down. Everybody going south has got on shorts. Well, let's take a look live now at Boston University, where of course we've got snow still falling. If you look closely, you can see a road here right at the bottom of the screen. Every once in a while a car will come by. It hasn't been plowed lately, but it's falling slowly enough that hopefully we can keep those roads plowed into tomorrow. However, roads going to be kind of a problem, particularly 95 here between Portland, Boston, Providence, all the way down to New Haven and into New York. We may very well see some ice begin to develop here. Watch the bridges and overpasses as we could get some freezing rain, slickening things up there. Snow continuing into tomorrow morning and pretty much all day long along Interstate 95 here. Watch out again. We could see that mixture of precipitation types around the New York City area, and then a little bit of snow maybe on top of a very thin layer of ice. Stay with us. We'll keep you apprised of the changing scenario here as we get through the night and into tomorrow. We've got you covered here on the Weather Channel.
Sometimes at last doesn't happen at first.
Your dad just kissed my mom.
Turning two worlds into one takes love. Helping protect that world takes State Farm.
So you think all auto glass companies are the same? Well, they're not. When your windshield needs to be replaced, nobody makes it as worry-free as Safelite. First, Safelite emails a photo of the technician, so you know who to expect and how soon.
Right on time.
Safelite's one-of-a-kind True Seal technology places a new glass in perfect position for a strong, reliable bond you can trust.
Oh, that looks great.
You're all set.
Thank you so much.
Schedule now to get the Safelite Advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
How do I get hotel deals nobody else gets? I know a guy.
Priceline Negotiator.
I know this guy, Rodolito, and this guy who knows a guy.
Hey, guy.
I know a guy in New York, Vegas, Dallas. I've known some guys for decades, and some, nice to meet you. Let's deal. My competitors may know a guy, but I know over 60,000 guys. and gals.
Exclusive hotel deals up to 60% off. Priceline.com.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
Uh-oh, you're behind the wheel and the sun is so bright you're blinded by the light and can't see a thing. Your visor doesn't stop it, so you dare to drive right into the glare. Stop blinding sun and dangerous glare with EasyView XT, the amazing fast flip-down glare blocker that blocks sun glare in a split second. Just slide EasyView XT onto any visor and that's it. It stays sure and secure, no tools or assembly required. With just a flip, you've got the sun and glare neutralizing protection you need at your fingertips. Traditional car sun visors block your view and impede your vision. EasyView XT is made of clear acrylic that you can see right through with a perfect tint to diffuse light and glare so you can keep the road ahead in clear view. Look, morning sun makes it impossible to see, but you always have a clear view with EasyView XT. With late afternoon glare, you can't see what's ahead, but with EasyView XT, you'll be amazed at what you'll see instead. It even reduces glare from oncoming headlights at night.
I drive my kids from school every afternoon directly into the sun, but now with EasyView XT, I can actually see and keep my family safe.
I drive nearly 100 miles each day for work, and with EasyView XT, I never have to squint into the sun.
With EasyView XT, I'm a lot more comfortable and confident behind the wheel.
I won't even put my rig in gear without my EasyView XT in it.
Stop squinting and gazing into the sun and glare. Get the EasyView XT glare blocker so you can actually see. And right now it's yours for just $10. Whether it's early morning sun, blinding afternoon light, or diffusing headlight glare at night, you'll use EasyView XT driving everywhere. And there's more. Order right now and we'll double the offer and send a second EasyView XT for the passenger side. And it's yours free. Just pay separate processing and handling. You get 2 EasyView XT glare blockers, a $30 value for just $10. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-350-0320. That's 1-800-350-0320. Or go to EasyViewXT.com. Order now.
The Weather Channel celebrates Black History Month as only we can, telling the stories of African Americans who saw their world through weather, then changed the world for the better. This week, we sit down with Guyan Bluford, the first African American to travel into space. Black History Month on the Weather Channel. It's amazing out there.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, partly cloudy with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High 81. Chance of rain 50%. Monday night, overcast with rain showers at times. Thunder possible. Low 61. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This weekend, Winter Storm Marcus brings yet another round of snow and cold to millions. Monday morning will be a mess. Get the weather story Monday on Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Welcome back to special coverage of Winter Storm Marcus. Snow's been falling in the Northeast since this morning. Of course, that's just this time around.
Everyone's been counting. For Boston, Massachusetts, for example, the 4th named storm in just 3 weeks. The folks in the hub are still digging out of Juno, Carrie, and Linus. And so their threat of another foot, maybe foot and a half, is serious.
It really is serious. And we're getting all kinds of pictures in of what it looks like around the Boston area. This is the campus today of Harvard University. And really, I mean, it kind of looks like a Christmas card, doesn't it? It's pretty out there. Justin Michaels tweeted this out, noting, he says that there are just 40 days until spring. That's some optimism. I like his optimism.
You know, it's even fewer days until meteorological spring. How about that for optimism? And I know they're counting every single day, including our Paul Goodlow, who happens to be out in the thick of it right now in Boston live for us. And Paul, you've been doing a fantastic job illustrating visually just how much snow that almost 60 plus inches has been over the last few weeks here?
Yeah, we're talking, I think, 55 plus in the last 16 days. And you're talking about, 40 days till spring, which means there's 40 days and 40 nights of this winter. And here in Boston, that has meant a ton of snow. And people were complaining that they didn't have that much snow up until the middle of January. Talk about maybe 5.5 inches. And be careful what you wish for, kids, because we're getting a lot more even now. Take a look at the radar. Still some snow on the radar. And this will be this way all night long, all day long into Monday before things start tapering off. Again, the snow showers could linger even into your rush hour on your Tuesday. That is, if you have a rush hour to get to. I'm back here at Copley Plaza. The side of the sidewalk, which has not been plowed or salted, where I'm standing, is about a ½ inch to maybe 3/4 inch of snow. Where you had some plows, where you had some salt, this is getting some foot traffic as well, so it's not nearly as snow-packed. But walking me over here towards St. James Avenue and Dartmouth, it's kind of difficult to see in the light, but still, traffic is still out here. But the roads, which were more of a kind of a slushy brown mix earlier, they're getting more white as we're seeing more and more snow here, and the conditions are cold. The snow is not going anywhere because it's 14 degrees. The wind chill is 1 below zero. So while this street is fine, take a look at this video shot earlier today of typical streets around Boston, around South Boston. Typical 2-lane roads are really just 1 lane because you have tons and tons of towers and piles of snow, and under some of those kind of piles of snow, you might even have some cars which have yet to be dug out. So this is the ongoing concern here, and I guess the good news is even state workers are encouraged to not go to work. In fact, it's a snow day for them as well, so they want everyone to stay at home so they can clear these roads. And the governor had a news conference earlier this evening, and he tried to illustrate how much snow they're moving. Take a listen to this.
Over the past 2 weeks, approximately 60 inches of snow have fallen across Massachusetts. Department of Transportation plows have moved enough snow over that period of time to fill Gillette Stadium 90 times.
And I guess that's the only silver lining here, is even though we're dealing with yet another winter storm, a week ago, people around Boston, they were celebrating a Super Bowl victory. So that definitely warmed a lot of hearts. But that's getting kind of old now. And now this snow is definitely getting kind of old. Kind of the broken record. Again, we're seeing more snow. Maria?
And and you have people out driving and they're trying to live their lives. It's really incredible. If you've never experienced snow that high, it is just incredible. But it's not just Boston. We're talking about Portland, Maine as well. They're getting slammed by Winter Storm Marcus. And for that, we want to send it over to Ron Blom. And Ron, I see the snow piles in Boston looks a lot like Portland right now. So they're dealing with that as well.
It's very similar. We've got officially 12 inches on the ground since the 1st of February, about a 20-inch official snowpack. But look at this. I think we've got at least 2.5, 3 inches more of this light powdery snow that's fallen. But something else that's kind of interesting we've noticed is that we've got some extra moisture in the air, probably because the bay is only about 400 yards from here. On our metal light stands, we're getting this pebbly ice, and it's been accumulating on the lenses of the cameras. Now, they've been out all day, and the temperature is 9 degrees, but it's that extra humidity here near the ocean, and the bay is putting a little bit of extra ice on things. That's going to make things a little more hazardous. Driving conditions out on I-95 were actually pretty good today. They've been very aggressive in treating those. But if you get into the towns, the smaller towns, you've still got snow-covered streets. Now, they're plowing them and keeping them down, but we had the plow come through here not too long ago, and we've already got a couple of fresh 2 inches of snow on it. The forecast for the next 24 hours is snow, snow, and snow. The overnight low is supposed to be 5 degrees, so it's the daily double. We've got this huge chill on top of this blowing snow that's coming in, and this is going to go on through tomorrow night. Going to be quite a storm, a big chill here in Portland. Back to you, Maria.
All right, Ron Blom, thank you so much. It's 9 degrees there and the snow still coming down. Let's bring in our expert Carl Parker to talk more about Marcus because, one thing that maybe New Englanders are noticing right now, it's not this howling, raging nor'easter that we had with the previous storms.
No, that's exactly right. That's the element that's really missing this time. We're not talking about a really intense area of low pressure with really strong wind and tremendously heavy snowfall rates, although the snowfall rates will be heavier right around Boston, we think, because of a low localized effect called a coastal front, which we'll explain here in a moment. But for the most part, it's going to be a more gradual lift, but it's going to be a long-lasting event. It's the duration that's going to give us these amounts, not so much the intensity. So you've got a large area of several inches of snow there across the Empire State, and then within that, pockets of 8 to 12, and then within that, you've got that little bit of enhancement right around Boston where we could see more than a foot of snow, and maybe even well more than a foot of snow by the time it's all said and done. Right now, we're seeing a lot of reports of light snow, the vast majority of reports indicating light snow right now. We're just beginning to see a bit of freezing rain there right around Mount Pocono in eastern PA, and that is going to be the worry in the New York City metro tonight, overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. Light freezing rain could make a mess of that Monday morning commute. Then you've got light snow coming down in the Boston metro, but we expect that it's going to get a little bit heavier, and in fact we have seen moderate snow already. So you've got the strong high to the north, cold air coming down from the north, but warmer marine air coming in just like this. So right where those two air masses are meeting, that's where we've got a front developing. Notice how that contrast in temperature really sharpens up right there. That's where the front is getting stronger, and where that's occurring, you're getting stronger lift. You're getting more lift in the atmosphere. So the high resolution model actually showing that, the enhancement with some banding that sets up right across the Boston metro area. And along with that, we expect that there could be, again, more than a foot of snow, and maybe even approaching a couple of feet of snow in some very localized areas, depending on exactly how strong that band is, where exactly it sets up, and whether it migrates at all over the course of the next day or so. And it's going to be a solid day. Here's a look at that high resolution model we'll show you going into tomorrow morning. So again, almost all of this is light snow. We do see a little bit of freezing rain there showing up around the tri-state area tomorrow morning. Notice that little enhancement right there in the Boston metro. We'll take it into the afternoon, and we begin to see this snow in northern New England and New York contract late in the afternoon. But then we're still seeing the outline of that feature right there. That is that coastal front, perhaps still producing snow in the Boston metro even tomorrow night. So again, a long duration event, and occasionally that snow could be coming down at 1 to 2 inches per hour along with that boundary. And then finally, the whole thing is going to be winding down by Tuesday morning. So here's our forecast. This is the way it times out. Notice the purple, if you will. That's the potential for freezing rain coming down into the tri-state area tomorrow morning, central Jersey and southeastern PA, not very far away from Philadelphia. Maria, back to you.
All right, Carl, thank you so much.
Much more ahead right here on a special edition of Weather Center Live. Winter Storm Marcus just blasting the Northeast with this slow snow coming down. He called it a slow death, Carl did.
He did, but it's raging rain right now in the west. We're watching that big storm, and we have Dr. Greg Forbes with his take on the severe threat there.
Currently in our area, 71 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear. Slight chance of a rain shower. Low 61. Winds light and variable. Monday, partly cloudy with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. High 81. Chance of rain 50%. Monday night, overcast with rain showers at times. Thunder possible. Low 61. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
What does an apron have to do with car insurance? An apron is hard work. An apron is pride in what you do. An apron is not quitting until you've made something a little better. What does an apron have to do with car insurance? For us, everything.
Boston Market introduces our 2 for $20 complete meal deal. For just $20, get 2 individual meals, like our all-natural rotisserie chicken, 2 classic sides, 2 drinks, and 2 desserts, all for a limited time, only at Boston Market.
Hey neighbor, LED bulbs save hundreds of dollars on your energy bill and can last for over 20 years. And right now, get $2 instant savings on a variety of Fight dimmable bulbs at your neighborhood Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Omega-3s are essential for our heart health. We find omega-3s in fish and nuts. But even with a healthy diet, many people don't get enough. That's why omega-3 supplements can help support your heart health.
MegaRed is an omega-3 supplement recognized by the Hope Heart Institute. Research shows omega-3s may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. MegaRed omega-3 krill oil is easily absorbed by the body, and it's just one small pill. Support your heart health with MegaRed.
My name's Michael. I'm 55 years old, and I have diabetic nerve pain. The pain was terrible. My feet hurt so bad. It felt like hot pins and needles coming from the inside out of my skin. When I did go see the doctor, and he prescribed Lyrica, that helped me.
It's known that diabetes damages nerves. Lyrica is FDA approved to treat diabetic nerve pain. Lyrica is not for everyone. It may cause serious allergic reactions or suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these. New or worsening depression or unusual changes in mood or behavior, or swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, changes in eyesight including blurry vision, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or skin sores from diabetes. Common side effects are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who have had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
Having reduced pain is great, and I'm grateful for it.
Ask your doctor about Lyrica and visit Lyrica.com to learn about our $25 copay offer.
If you've ever wondered how you're going to survive another harsh winter, or stay dry from torrential rain showers, or savor the last warm rays of sun, step inside the Jeep Grand Cherokee and wonder no more. This is the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $349 a month.
I've joined 14 online dating sites.
14? Is one of them eHarmony?
I don't have time for all those eHarmony questions.
Beth, do you want fast or forever?
Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Got a live look at Boston, Massachusetts. The snowplows trying to keep up with the snow, but look at all of the piles on either side of the street here. This is what happens when you get almost 60 inches of snow coming from storm after storm after storm. It's still lightly falling out there, but that's a little bit deceptive because we're going to see prolonged snow all night tonight, all day tomorrow, all night tomorrow night, and probably piling up to over a foot of brand new snow. Well, James Kendall took a picture of the snow from Winter Storm Marcus in the Boston area. Snow on the ground, icicles from above, kind of picturesque if you are inside and not having to go anywhere. And let's hope that's you, not having to go anywhere into tomorrow. I mean, where would you go, right? So much is closed. Schools closed tomorrow, parking bans in effect. Just, you know, observe it from the inside. Let's just hope that you hang on to your heat, okay? Let's hope we don't get too much more snow. We've had snow reported 12 out of the last 16 days. Since January 24th, we've had snowing about 33% of the time, and a storm total, or a total from that time in the last 16 days of 53.9 inches of snow. 4 of that has fallen just even today, and it's still lightly falling out there right now. We see a few little bands of heavier snow off toward your west right now, but it's still light over Boston, 14 degrees, but we've got enough breeze out there that the wind chills are down 1 degree below zero. So if you do go out, if you do venture out, make sure that every inch of skin is covered. We're going to have to get used to a little bit of cold weather here for a while. It is just going to be frozen for the next several days, and even colder as we head on into late week. This cold air coming down from Canada probably going to provide you with the coldest air of the season thus far. That's going to be plunging down into the northeast. So next Friday, your lows in the teens once again, kind of like how it feels out there right now. But watch what happens into Saturday. We dip below 0 in the morning hours around Boston, 6 above there in New York, and we stay into the single digits and below all the way into next Sunday morning. Maria?
All right, Nick, the other big stories on the other coast today, the heavy deluge on the west coast, the rain continuing there through tomorrow. And you see with the radar, you not only have the rain, but you have the lightning. We're going to check in on that. But also San Francisco seeing a bit of a dry patch. But just looking right now, they still have incredibly gusty winds. And there is that storm threat with this system. For more on that, we want to send it over to the lab and our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Dr. Forbes, I just checked San Francisco, SFO. They gusted to 41 miles per hour. This is a big wind maker.
It is, and it probably is going to get windy again yet tonight. In fact, earlier today, they had a gust of 46 miles per hour, so that has delayed or canceled some flights there. Take a look. You can see the big spinning upper low that's just to the west of San Francisco. Now, even the first round of that, as Maria mentioned, is strong winds coming in, and the first round of showers and thunder showers seems to have gone by without going too severe, but you can see some little swirlies that are still back in there. Often as those come toward shore, you'll have some severe threat. So we're not done yet with a severe threat tonight, and those next swirlies, as I call them, coming onshore will, through tomorrow, give probably another inch or two. Some places in the mountains, a little more than that, of rain. Right now, the heaviest of the rain with some of those thunderstorms down around the Sonora Modesto area, but there's another round that's coming into northwest parts of California yet this evening. Now, we've dodged the bullets, so to speak, this afternoon. The winds have been from the south coming up the Sacramento and San Joaquin valleys in the mid-60s, but that cold air aloft has come in from the west. It has not really come in very strongly. So while we've had some instability, it's not been enough to generate tornadoes or severe thunderstorms. But with those next rounds, a little vortmaxes, as we call them, the swirlies coming onshore, there's a chance of a damaging wind gust coming in yet tonight. Where the storms are at the moment, you can see there's lightning in there from South Lake Tahoe down into the Sonora and the Modesto areas. But for the most part, their temperatures are beginning to clear. These probably are not going to go severe there from Bear Valley down to the Groveland area. Another round of storms, mostly showers down south of Monterey, but we'll see something could come in yet tonight. And why do we worry about California? Well, February is the second most active month for tornadoes, second only to March. And the situation is, as these kind of upper air disturbances come onshore, this one's not quite as cold aloft as some that we get that come more down directly from the polar areas. So just a spotty chance of a damaging wind gust, some hail, a low chance of a tornado yet tonight. Maria, Nick?
All right, Dr. Forbes, thank you.
Well, we do have much more ahead right here as Winter Storm Marcus continues to blast the Boston area and New York. Watch out, some icy spots could make travel pretty treacherous tomorrow morning.
And look at that scene right now. I think that's the Chrysler Building, right? And we've got a little bit of a low cloudiness, some departure delays at LaGuardia of about half an hour, but lots of cancellations, big travel problems. We're going to have Carl Parker dig a little deeper into who's going to get what and when.